What's up, everybody? It's Pat Voss, and this is another Honesty Podcast video. I already did one today. I'm going to do another one for you guys. Guys, I've got a little problem here. I keep seeing Stephen A. Smith bitch and moan back and forth with Max Kellerman about how LeBron might be in the content or the context of being one of the greatest players ever. I'd put him just outside of the top five, honestly. You do have people like Kobe, like Michael, like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I mean, shit, there's four people already. So you're telling me LeBron is that last spot? I don't think so. I honestly don't. And as far as speed, handles, and for a little while defense, I would say Allen Iverson is up there. Now, Ray Allen, as far as shooting, now there should be different categories for just shooting, just defensive, just big men, whatever. But as far as overall great players, no, LeBron's not in my top five. No, of course he's not. Not that I don't like him. I don't like his flopping. I don't like any of that bullshit. But no, him as a person, I really could care less. I just don't think he is a top five guy. He's not a top five guy. Jordan, like I said, you know, you've got people out there. You've got Jordan, Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. There's four people. I mean, even Shaq has more rings. Shaq has more rings than LeBron James. So, you know, what does that tell you? The big guy who's got his eyes crossed, who can't shoot a free throw to save his fucking life, has more rings than LeBron James, this supposed prodigy and predecessor of Michael Jordan. I really don't think that is the way things are going to go. And, of course, you guys can see, and it looks a little bit biased because I'm wearing an like a Chicago jersey. But it's okay. I look at things, and I look at the way that people scored and the legacy they left, and I look at what he's doing, what LeBron's doing right now, and he's not leaving a legacy. He's leaving the complainer who left town to join a super team, win a couple titles, come back and say he's here to help everybody in the city of Cleveland, even though that's all bullshit, and we know it's just because he got tired of losing. He lost bookend. He lost bookend years. He lost 2012 and 2014. Or 2011 and 2014, he lost the NBA title to not only the Spurs, but he also lost to Dallas. Dallas, of all people. He lost to fucking Dallas. So, to me, he's not the greatest player. He surrounded himself with talent, but he's not the greatest player. MJ did the same thing. So, yes, I guess the argument could be out there and could be put out there that, of course, you know, it's logical that you would put the argument out there that he is one of the best because MJ, to win rings, had to put talent around himself. Kobe put talent around himself. You know, and that's great. But don't go and tarnish your reputation like a Barry Bonds, who, no, he was not found guilty of any PED use, but he did make the way he conducted himself around the media and the way he kind of shied away from people and stayed in the shadows and just being an overall, like, grumpy person, that made people not like him. This is the way you get to people not liking LeBron James, is he's a flopper all the time. And he's a big dude. He's a flopper, and he has 3 titles, but Kobe has 5 and Jordan has 6. So where is he in the discussion? If he has 5 titles, if he equals Kobe in titles, I say we start talking about him being top 3 or 4 players, or at least in my top 5. I will add him. If he gets 2 more titles, I will add him to my top 5 players of all time. I'll add him to the Larry Bird Celtics. I'll add him to the Magic Johnson Lakers, the Kobe Lakers, the 90s, you know, Jordan Bulls. I will add him to that link and that list because that is what he has earned. He might have more playoff points than anybody else or second best next to Jordan. That's fine. You can have that, but you're still half of his titles. You can outscore him. You could be the Dan Marino of basketball and outscore everyone and take over point-wise and rebound-wise and how many playoff games you played in and all that bullshit. Fine, that's great. But how many titles do you have out of all those? You scored all those points. You played all those games. You have 3 championships. One of which you shouldn't have won. And I can't believe the Warriors even let you back into that one. That was their fault. That wasn't your victory. That was their fault. They should have closed that shit out in 5 games. You guys were not ready. They relaxed on offense and relaxed on defense, and they gave it to you guys in Cleveland. So you guys got lucky. You got your title. Then the Cleveland Indians, by the way, try to do the same thing. They seem to have gotten laxed in game 5, 6, and 7, and the Cubs took over and won the World Series. So it's the exact same mentality there. It was one city to the other. So here's what I think. I think LeBron, like I said, you win 2 more titles, you're in the conversation. You don't win 2 more titles, I don't even consider you in my top 5. There's just no way. There's no way you're in the discussion for top 5 all-time. Shit, I would put Isaiah Thomas before you because he had a chance to three-peat, and he won in 89 and 90, almost went in 88. I mean, he was this close. So, yes, it would have been the three-peat. They went 4 years in a row. So or they went to the playoffs and advanced deep into the playoffs 4 years in a row at least. So I don't see any comparison. I don't see it. I see you getting to X amount of finals in a row and losing 3 out of 6 finals. That's what I see. I see you getting to 6 finals, or 7 finals rather. If you get to the finals this year, it'll be your 8th. So in 8 years, you'll have 3 titles. Because I don't see you winning it this year, Cleveland. You'll have 3 titles. And then that also means that in 8 tries, you have 3. In 8 tries, the Bulls had 6. Where's your stuff? In 8 tries, I believe this is true. In 8 tries, I think it was in 8 tries. In 8 tries, Kobe had 5. You have 3. So how come you think you're the best? How come you think you're the greatest? How come people keep touting your accolades everywhere? You've done things in the same amount of years, not consecutively, by the way, spread out throughout your career. You've been to the finals 7 times and come away with 3 titles. That's half of your career. That's half of your NBA finals appearances. To me, if you're that great of a player, if you're the best player in the world, that should not be happening. You should have won. And I'm not saying the first one against San Antonio back when you had supposedly no one besides you. You guys got to the finals. How did you guys get to the finals? You guys didn't have one of the best records in the league or a good record in the league and then go through all the rounds of the playoffs, all 3 rounds, and get to the NBA Finals just to get your asses kicked by the San Antonio Spurs. No, I don't see that. I don't think that's what happened. I think what happened was they needed an excuse. Cleveland needed an excuse. It's like the Cubs. And I'm a big Cubs fan, but the Cubs fans for a long time other Cubs fans have been using the excuse, it's like a wait till next year thing, or there's a reason why, or the Bartman ball. There's always a reason why. There's always an excuse why we didn't make it, why we didn't win the title, why we didn't win our championship after 108 years now. And we finally got it done. The team finally got it done. And I couldn't be more proud of them. But there's no excuses. It's we didn't play well enough. We just didn't play well enough. We couldn't cut it that year or years past since the early 1900s. We couldn't cut it. We could not reach the pinnacle. But now it's time to leave all that bullshit aside. And if we don't reach it this year, okay, cool. Though we couldn't cut it this year. We could not beat who we had to beat to get to the pinnacle and win a title. LeBron, you're not the best. Win 2 more titles. We'll put you in top 5. Like, share, comment, subscribe, honestypodcast.com. I'm Pat Voss. Find me on Twitter at Honesty Podcast, or actually find me on Twitter at FKD Gaming. I'm getting it down to 1 Twitter, 1 Facebook page. It's my main Facebook page and my FKD RNG Gaming Twitter account. I'll see you guys later.
Travel on your own on a bed to trip on a bed to trip on